Okay, YouTube. Just going to quickly talk about this particular animatronic, and I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. So I'm going to talk pretty quickly. Um, Throughout my dealings with animatronics, I would say my hands have probably touched between 100 and 150 animatronics that I've built and put together. And hands down, this was the most difficult one. This is one that I almost gave up on a couple of times, almost just said F it and returned the thing. I don't know what the problem was really, and I still can't figure it out. It's very similar to the 12-foot witch, but the 12-foot witch did not give me this many problems. I think there's a lot of things with the instructions that were confusing on this guy. I think there weren't enough details on the instructions. And I think overall, it just has it's just a lot of questions to be had when you're putting it together. Um, and you'll see what I mean when you start to put it together yourself if you're getting one of these guys. I'm going to give you advice. The best advice is, and this is not, don't take my video as the advice. Go to other people's videos to see how they did it and follow their guide or instructions or just their footage. Because even in my footage, I had to do this thing took me about 3 hours to put together, and I had to do a lot of editing, a lot of back and forth. This took me 4 videos to try to get out and pushed out. It kept raining and storming every time I tried to do the first videos. Then on the day that I finally had time, the only day that I could do it was in the dead afternoon in August in the Florida heat, and it was scorching outside. You can see my shirt as it gets sweaty throughout the video. I mean, I literally almost just threw this thing in the trash. Like there's so many things that they could have done easier to make this more, to make it more effective and quicker during the assembly, but they just left a lot of stuff out. So it's going to be a headache. I'm going to tell you now. And if you're able to get this thing on the first try, kudos to you. I've just never had any animatronic that's been this difficult. And again, if I had to do the witch was probably maybe my second most difficult, but I would give that a 7 out of 10. It really wasn't that bad. This guy was a 15 out of 10. Like this guy would make you literally want to just get out the whole game of collecting and everything. Like whoever came up with those instructions should be literally you should be fine. Don't do any more instructions. And there's plenty of people complaining about this guy, not just me. You know how it is when you go out, you work all week, and then you go out and your grass is really high, and you go out, you cut your grass, you get your yard looking all great, and then you're tired, you're hot, and then you go home. I mean, you go inside, you shower, you get a good beer or something, and you relax. And then later on that day, you go outside and you see your yard, it looks immaculate, and you just have that feeling of pride of that you really are taking care of your yard, and your yard is looking beautiful. Well, this guy right here, like that, once you put this together, that feeling that you get after you cut your yard and make it look great, multiply that times 10. That's the feeling you're going to get when you accomplish this guy. This is definitely a challenge. I highly recommend more than one person not to put it together, but the other person to encourage you not to give up. You need another person to encourage you to not give up. Forget about helping you actually assemble it, because they're going to be just as confused as you are. Number 2, my hint is go to other people's videos and watch their videos on how to assemble this guy. Number 3, go ahead and say a prayer before you start. 1, to get it assembled, and 2, please forgive your sins of how much cussing you're going to do as you're trying to put this guy together. And then number 3, just try not to return him and keep him, because I'm telling you, once you put him up, he's awesome. I'm not even going to lie. He looks a lot better in person once you get him up. But he is going to be a challenge. And my other tip is, even with the witch and this one, you don't have to run the wires through the pole. Just a tip, you don't have to do it that way. You can do it that way, but you can also zip tie it or put it in some of his mechanical housing underneath his cloak if you want to do it that way. So you don't necessarily have to run it through the actual pole. But even with that, it's still going to be a difficult build. Anyway, we can get into the video. I just want to give you a heads up. This guy was a hassle.
I welcome you to my kingdom, a place of terror and darkness. Fear feeds the power of this place. So go ahead and shriek all you want. Don't worry, this is only for eternity. You may attempt to flee, but the darkness shall swallow you whole. If my sign doesn't catch you first, if my towering form, you are merely ants in my game of death and destruction. Thanks for watching the first ride.